Hello and welcome to another video, and today we're going to be discussing the differences between Netflix and Amazon Prime Video and Hulu. Now it's obvious, well, at least I believe it's very obvious which one is technically the best one, but I thought we might as well give it a fair shot and let's compare them each one and just go down the row and just really see what's good about each one and what's bad about each one. Now, I'm only doing these three because these are the main three. Now, I know there are other ones. I don't want to include things, obvious stuff like Sling TV or PS View because that's technically just live TV. It's kind of like comparing, Spectrum TV to Dish and Direct TV and all that kind of, that doesn't really work. This is a little different. This is just about streaming services that are directly, they kind of compete against each other. They have their own content and stuff like that. Now, yes, I know there's another one. There is YouTube Red, but let's be honest, nobody uses that. So let's start off with Netflix. Now, Netflix is my personal favorite, and Netflix has been around for a very long time. They started off mostly as just a DVD sending service, and with this small streaming online presence. When I first started Netflix, probably 7 years ago, their online streaming was very small. Almost anything you wanted had to be sent to you by mail, which it was a very good deal. They sent you stuff really fast, and you can have, I think it was up to like 2 or 3 things at a time, depending on what package you had and stuff like that. Well, since then, now they're pretty much only doing streaming. They do still send you movies, but it's not, you almost really have a hard time finding where that is unless you already are actively doing it, I guess. Now, the first point I always want to bring up is what content do they offer? Now, Netflix has tons and tons of content. It varies. Sometimes they add more, sometimes they take away things that you'd like. But for the most part, Netflix has a very large selection. They have anything from children's shows to original content to movies to a lot of TV shows, a lot of the popular TV shows. Now, as far as the streaming quality, you have to really think about what package you have. Now, one of the negatives about Netflix is in order to get their 4K content, you do have to pay a little extra money. I believe it goes from $7.99 to $11.99, so it's like $4 extra to go from 1080p all the way up to the 4K content. I only have one 4K device, and I don't see the point. The shows that were filmed in 4K, they still kind of look like they're in 4K, but I know they're not, but they look nice. And, I'm not too big on 4K. Anyway, I know it definitely looks better, and I'll get to why I know that in a second when we get to Amazon. But really, when it comes down to it, it's not worth the extra money for me. Other than that, there really isn't many negatives for Netflix. I guess you can say, their selection isn't perfect, but none of them really is. And when they decide they're going to take away shows, they put up this big announcement online. They say, oh, this is what's coming, this is what's going. And a lot of times it's not true because a lot of the stuff they say is going away, it doesn't end up going away. And even some of the stuff they say that's going to show up on Netflix, it never actually shows up on Netflix. At least not when they say it will. Like, they'll give a date. They'll say, like, okay, the 30th of this month, and then it comes out the 5th of the month after. So, maybe they need to work on making announcements that are actually true. But for the most part, Netflix is pretty good. I don't have a lot of bad things to say about it. So the second one we're going to talk about is Amazon Prime Video. Now, this one's a little different to talk about because Amazon Prime is not really just about video. Amazon Prime is also about the free shipping. It also has Amazon Prime Music. I believe they even have Amazon Prime Kindle books where they give you free ebooks. And they even have Amazon Prime exclusive sales where they give Prime members certain items that other people can't buy. So Prime is a huge package. Now, for the longest time, Amazon only allowed for buying it at a year, which was $100, which was a lot of money to really just throw down for, videos and things. If you bought a lot of things and you wanted free shipping, it could add up to paying that back. Well, I don't know when they started doing this, but I know now you can do it monthly for $8.99, so it makes it a little bit more expensive. Just slightly, $1 a month. It's not anything outrageous. And you can do a monthly service with that, and then you can watch their movies. You can do all kinds of things. Like I said, Amazon Prime is a huge thing. Now, the positives and negatives of Amazon Prime Video. I'm only going to talk about the video. One of the positives is, well, I have a movie on Amazon Prime. There's a movie which I am in as an extra called The 7 Lives of Chance. I'm going to try to put a poster up here. And I'm in that as an extra, so I guess that's always a plus. The other plus is the guys from Top Gear created the Grand Tour, and they went with Amazon Prime. So that's another great reason to have that. I mean, that's one of my favorite shows was Top Gear, and the fact that they ended up doing their new show on Amazon Prime made me want to go watch it there. But I guess this is where it comes down to the negatives, because that's really one of the only things I've ever watched on there. There was a lot of the shows on there I don't think are very good. A lot of their original content, besides the Grand Tour, I didn't like. And I've tried many different things. There was one that I liked. It was a cooking travel show with Emeril Lagasse and Mario Batali from the Food Network, and they were traveling all over, just trying the best food from different countries. It was basically like a travel channel sort of, not a movie, but like a show. And other than that, there are other shows on there that people say are good. I haven't tried all of them. Of course, it's hard you can't try every show on everything, because there's so much content to watch. You can only do so much at a time. But other than that, the selection on Amazon Prime at least wasn't humongous. I know they're always adding new things. That's with any of them. They're always adding new things. And, I haven't checked it in a while, so maybe now, my movie's on there now. It wasn't earlier. Maybe there's a lot of good stuff now. I have to go take a look. But for the most part, the level of content, when you got Netflix is up here and Prime's more like down here. And then we'll get to the next one, which is kind of in the middle. Oh, there's, the finishing up with Amazon Prime, there's a lot of benefits. There's a little bit of a negative if you focus just on the video aspect, which technically is what this video is about. But then we get to the third one, and we'll really get to put these in order, and you'll see why Amazon Prime with less video content can beat something with a good amount of video content. So then you get to Hulu, and, well, Hulu is something else. They offer 2 different packages. You can either pay the $7.99 service, which is their basic one, or you can upgrade it, and I believe it was $12 for what they call advertisement free. Now, the thing is, I can understand you throw an advertisement on the beginning of the video. Amazon Prime sometimes will throw like a little announcement at the beginning of a video, and I don't really mind that. But your Hulu experience goes more like this. You start an episode, and you get advertisement, and then you go in about 5 minutes later, and you get advertisement. And then you go in about another 5 minutes and you see advertisement. Now, it's kind of pretty much paced out like it is on standard TV service, where they would throw advertisements in on regular TV service, you getting them here. But then it runs into the problem. Let's say you stop a video and you just pause it and you close it for a second and you come back, and even 5 minutes later, and you gotta watch them again. And then let's say you're watching them and the advertisements freeze and you have to refresh the video. And then you gotta watch them again. And it's not just the fact that you're watching them again once. You have to watch the initial advertisement, the one that comes before you can watch anything. And then let's say your show was paused 10 seconds before the next advertisement. You watch 10 seconds of show, you watch 4 advertisements. And once again, if it freezes on the 4th advertisement with 1 second left, you have to refresh the whole thing, and now you have to watch the initial advertisements. Gotta rewatch your 10 seconds of show, because Hulu does not save your place. It has never, on any device, I have watched Hulu on like 5 different things: a phone, a computer, an Apple TV, a PlayStation, on every single device. It does not save your place. And because of that, and now after you watch the initial advertisements, you watch your 10 seconds of show that you've already seen, and now you're watching 4 advertisements again. And if it freezes again, you're back to the beginning, watching an advertisement, watching 10 seconds of show, watching 4 advertisements. And the worst part about that is when you come back to start your 10 seconds of show, you're not allowed to change your place. You can't fast forward ahead saying, well, I've already seen this 10 seconds of show, or a minute, or whatever. You have to wait for the initial advertisements to finish, and then you can fast forward. And more times than not, if you try to go ahead of the commercial, once in a while it'll let you skip it. Not very often. Most of the time, it'll detect that you went past an advertisement point, and it will bring you back to the advertisement. And then if you realize, oh no, I went too far, and you try to adjust, and you try to get as close back to the advertisement as possible, which is really hard to do on every device because the Hulu's interface is horrible, you'll end up watching the advertisements again. So I could say you could watch a 30-minute show and have 30 minutes of advertisements. That's not unheard of. Almost every single time I watch a Hulu show, it ends up freezing, and I have to watch the advertisements over again. So beyond that, how is the content? It's okay. Like I was saying, Netflix is here, Prime is about here. Well, Hulu's got about this much content. And I'm not even saying content that's not good versus content that is good. Hulu has very low levels of content overall. You could view everything on Hulu on, maybe you could flip to maybe 10 pages, when they show like the little tiles. You could see everything on Hulu in a matter of a minute or two. Just to see what's on there as a catalog. With Netflix, you could constantly be scrolling through Netflix and you'd never see everything on Netflix because Netflix has, I would say, thousands of things. Prime has, Amazon Video has thousands of things. The Prime Video has a portion of that, but the selection is still pretty big. When you get over to Hulu, it's not so great. So as a conclusion over all of this, I would say, as I'm sure you could have guessed, Netflix is definitely the winner. And then Prime comes in second place because Prime not only is video with at least, it has some entertaining shows and the rest of it's kind of okay. I would say Prime comes in second place because you end up with all the other stuff, free shipping, free music, all this stuff. It's a lot for your money. Hulu is just a big advertisement that you're paying for. You're paying monthly to watch advertisements on the same level that you're watching regular content. So definitely get Netflix. Prime's great for the free shipping and all that. Hulu, I'd say kind of see what's on Hulu ahead of time, know how much you want to see, and then watch that as fast as you can and cancel Hulu. As soon as I've seen everything I want to see on Hulu, it's going away. And I probably will never come back to it because it's not a great service. I watch the shows don't make a service good. It's their interface, it's their advertisements, it's their overall feel to it. I try to use. They all have a free trial, but Hulu only gives you a week, and then at that they charge you for your month at the beginning of your free trial because they're like, oh, they won't cancel it, and then if you do, then they might give you your money back if they feel like it. Hulu is a joke, and it used to be okay. They used to be able to watch some stuff for free on Hulu, and they got rid of that too. It just keeps taking away and charging you more and advertising more. And they say to keep the price down, we show you advertisements. Well, if you kept the price down, didn't show advertisements, and actually had a decent service, you could be up there with Netflix. But you're never going to be at this rate. You will never become a Netflix on their level. You have your name recognition because you've been around a long time. But that's really the only reason. So take this video with the information and do what you will, but
advertisement.